What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about the Proving Grounds Grandmaster Nightfall and how you can complete this Nightfall easy as possible, especially if you are in the LFG. Now I will be giving you some tips and tricks. We will run through it kind of quick just because I don't want to make this video too long and ramble on and on about stuff that you guys are probably already pretty familiar with. Now, first and foremost, when you are doing this strike, it is double loot week, so you will get double drops. Especially with the Adepts, you'll also get double of the Adept, I believe they're called Adept Nightfall Ciphers, and there is a cap on those. Now, personally, once you already get the roles of hung jury that you want and you have everything that you plan to get, even the ciphers, I would actually just go back to Master. Now, for me, I don't have a dedicated team like some other people, and I do have to do LFG from time to time, and it can be a daunting task to get a solid group together to actually do this Grandmaster, and that's why I made this video today. Now, first and foremost, by far the easiest way to beat this Nightfall is to have 3 well locks. We're going to chain supers back to back to back, and that is the easiest way. Now, sometimes in the background gameplay we are running 3 Starfire protocols. I absolutely met some great guys on the LFG and we were able to complete this no problem at all. Now, I do recommend that one warlock actually run the stag, and I know it's not actually meta, but it does give you that ×2 resist when you have your class ability up. So when we are using the Well of Radiance, we're also using our class abilities, we're chaining those, and that gives us the healing rift, and then we get the ×2 resist on top of the Well of Radiance. So if you're not familiar with Grandmasters, you can get one shot out of your well. So pretty much with this Grandmaster Nightfall, we're actually going to play it safe. We're going to play at a distance. Now, personally, for this actual Nightfall, what I am using is Skyburner's Oath. If you didn't know, it does shoot the dome shield, so you can stay at a distance and actually take out that shield generator when the boss is actually around it, and you will have that in 2 encounters. Now, I'm also using a sniper rifle because there is overcharged sniper, and I will have a weapon review out for that soon. Currently right now I am using Bite of Fox with Envious Assassin and Vorpal Weapon. I feel like it's a fantastic PvE role. I'm also using a solar rocket launcher just because of the solar surge that we are using. Now, I'm also using Starfire Protocol with the fusion grenades, and that's pretty much it. We are running 3 Ashes to Assets, and pretty much everything else you're just going to want to play into what you're running. You don't necessarily have to use the same weapons that I'm using, but I highly recommend it just because it is a little bit easier to use. Now, in the background gameplay, unfortunately, I did not record all 3 warlocks for my earlier runs. So in the background gameplay, you will see one guy is using a hunter. Now, in the description below, I will have a dim link for the build that I'm actually using. And also too, like I said, you don't have to use the 3 well locks, but by far I believe it is the easiest just because of the capability of chaining supers back to back, and you're free and open in this space. So if you do use like 3 Titan bubbles, obviously you have to walk outside that bubble to actually do damage. So it can be a bit risky because if you die, bubble's gone. And the well just has those benefits of being out in the open and you're still able to do that damage. Now here you're going to have quite a few champions. You're going to have 4, I believe, that spawn in, 2 anti-barrier and then 2 unstoppables. You definitely want to try to kill all of the champions. 1, because they give you revive tokens, and also 2, you definitely want to get platinum. When I was getting the platinum runs, I was getting 4 ascendant shards. I got 2 exotics, and then I also got 2 adept drops, plus I believe 4 Adept Nightfall Ciphers. So those are beneficial. I know I talked about them earlier. The Adept Nightfall Ciphers allow you to focus Adept loot, and I got the God Roll Hung Jury, so I'm not going to waste mine on a Hung Jury, but when the Buzzard comes around or something like that, then I'll use those to decrypt a Ingram and actually get the roll that I want to. Now, after you defeat this last unstoppable champion, the final boss in this area will actually have a dome shield that will pop up, and you will have to destroy that generator halfway through the DPS phase. And once you do that, the encounter is pretty much over. I don't even know why I'm calling it an encounter, but it's Grandmaster, so I'm going to call it an encounter. And once you complete that, then you'll carry on into the tank room. Now, I am going to cut this video up a lot just because our average run time was about 25 to 30 minutes, and I don't want you to watch a 25 to 30 minute video. However, just know that if you kill all the champions and you go where we are, you will be successful in this Nightfall. Now, one of the biggest things I said is communication. And I know in LFG, which is one of the biggest things for me, is I have to play in LFG most of the time just because I don't have that solid team. And if you do play in LFG, whether it's text chat or anything, you need to set up some type of parameter, some form of communication during the nightfall before you even begin. So there's a lot of guys in LFG that don't want to use mics. For me, I would do text chat, and I would say, okay, 1, if I text 1, that means I have my super. If I text 2, that means I don't. If I text 3, I need ammo. Stuff like that. You want to have some form of communication in Grandmaster just because you do not want to get caught up to dying. So if all of you die, you wipe and you have to start all over again. And that could be disheartening, to say the least, all because of communication. Communication is very important in Grandmasters. Now, after this boss, you will make your way to the tank room. That's what I call it. Now, on the left and the right side of this map, you will see 2 corridor style areas. That's what I call them anyways, and they're pretty much just like big steel planks. You can see in the background where 2 of my teammates are. That's pretty much where you want to be. You can either be on this side or you can be on the right side. You do not want to split up at all, and I recommend when you first actually get into this room, you need to rocket both of the interceptors. They can one-shot you immediately. The biggest thing that you want to do in this room is you have to stay together, whether you're on this side or on the right side. Now, in this background gameplay, my teammates did decide to split up. The problem is if you split up, you will get overrun. At that point, that's when the champions will start to chase you, and you do not want that. Now, if you all stay together, the champions will pretty much just stay in the area that they're in. They will not move around too much. But if the unstoppables and stuff get to, I would say, get a notice of you running around, that's when they start to charge you. I've noticed. Now, I've done this nightfall quite a few times already this week, and I've noticed if your team splits up, you're going to be in trouble, especially with if you have 2 unstoppables running after you, and then there's a solar threat. So they do shoot the solar flame and you'll die instantly. So the best thing for you to do is to stay together. And you can see my teammate in the background, Beef, who's on the hunter. He actually split up from us, and that causes problems. You definitely don't want to do that. And then now he's dead, so one of us has to go and get him. You do not want to be in that situation. Everybody needs to stay together in this room. Now, the way you chain the supers is if you're on the left side or the right side, if you have 3 warlocks that are running well, you actually just put your well, lay a rift. And then once that well's up, you lay another well, and then lay another rift. Especially for the warlock that's actually using stag, because then you get damage resist while you're in that well / rift. And that is crucial to keeping you alive. Is by far the easiest way to keep you alive, and that's the best tip that I have for this Grandmaster as a whole. If you are going to do a LFG, the easiest way to get this done is if all 3 of you are on warlocks. Now, I'm not saying there isn't other builds out there that you cannot use or anything like that. There definitely is, but if you're doing LFG like I normally have to do, the easiest way is the warlock by far. Now, you can be a little bit more aggressive, play with a Titan, use strand, and do a lot of suspension and stuff like that, but you don't have anything to keep you alive. And just like you've seen right there, my partner got 1 shot right out of the well, and that's something that you don't want to have to deal with. So you need to play it very safe and be as passive as possible. You don't want to be too aggressive, because everything can kill you. Now, long story short, with this group of guys, we did make it through that room. Now, right here, you will get ambushed in the next room, so you definitely need to be careful here. You will have to face about 3 or 4 champions. You will have one that spawns right here in the doorway, so you definitely want to be aware of that. If you have to pop your super here, definitely do it. But I was already prepared for it, so we were able to actually stay back, and he wasn't able to melt us like he normally would. Now, you will also get ambushed in this next doorway right here after you kill these ads, and definitely use a super. There will be about 4 gladiators, and they will mess you up. You get hit 1 time, you're dead. So definitely make sure you use your supers, and you will see in the background gameplay where we actually get ambushed at. And then from there, it's pretty much just a rinse and repeat. You really won't get ambushed too much. I believe you get ambushed again on the other side. Now, for the sake of the video, I'm not trying to make it too long, so I'm not going to show the whole gameplay footage of this. And like I said previously, as soon as you pick that orb up, you will get ambushed by all these gladiators. Definitely use a super if you have to, and also use your healing rift as well. That will give you an overshield As you may know, Well of Radiance does not give you an overshield anymore, so the Healing Rift and Well of Radiance actually come in handy. Now what I recommend doing if you are worried and you are running 3 well locks, you can pop a super right here because you will have another champion to deal with. And what I was doing in my last gameplay is actually popping a super right here at the corner, and I was able to take out that champion. And as you may know, if you stand in the well, that does make you radiant, so you are able to pierce those anti-barrier champions. Now from there, it's pretty much a rinse and repeat. You will get ambushed again when you have to go get the other orb, but from there, that's pretty much it. It's not too difficult once you figure out that, hey, I'm gonna get ambushed, and you actually have ran this strike before in the past. You will make it through no problem. There are no more surprises from that point forward. Like I said, you will still have to deal with champions. You will have a champion on the other side of you, but other than that, it's not too difficult. Now from here, you will make your way to the boss room, and if you activate your super before actually interacting with the Rite of Proving, you will get your super back. It's kind of like a rally barricade. Now unfortunately, my teammate actually popped his super over here, which we should have popped it towards the back. So if you stay at the back of the room, it is the safest spot. The actual boss encounter will be harder at first. So if you can melt the boss and actually get this first phase over with, she will go into her immunity phase, and that's where you'll actually have to shoot the shield generator, and then you'll have champion spawn. So before you actually engage with Caittl's champion, you definitely want to take out the champions first. And that's the easiest route to go. That's why you want to stay at the back of the room. And if you change supers back to back, you will be able to actually shoot out these fire orbs, and you will be able to take out the champions. Now one thing to keep in mind with these fire orbs that Caittl's champion shoots, they only shoot so far. So at this point, when you're in this second damage phase, she will still be able to hit you with them. But the final phase, when she's on top of the oven, as a lot of people like to call it, the fire orbs actually can't reach you. So you can pretty much just wait it out, and they don't move too fast. You can shoot them down pretty easily. It just takes one shot, and you pretty much just want to focus all of your efforts on the champions and Caittl's champion until they go into that next phase. Now, like I said, once she has that shield generator up, you will get an additional piece of cover, and this is where you'll use Skyburner's Oath to actually take out the shield generator. Now, this is where my team decided to split up and actually go towards the champions. I highly do not advise against that. You want to stay at the back of the room and actually use the wells and chain them as such. It gives you more room to actually combat the champions, and you have more room to actually take out those orbs. And that's the easiest way to do it. You can see it right here, how we just pretty much obliterate these champions. We stun them, we get the kill off on them. There's no reason to actually go to the back of the room and try to take them out yourself or split up. I don't recommend doing that, and unfortunately with this run we were not successful. We all died, and that's because teammates split up. You definitely don't want to split up. Everybody needs to stay together in this strike, and through all Grandmasters you definitely want to stay together regardless. Now at this point, we don't have to deal with champions right now. All we have to worry about is destroying that shield generator and getting her to the third and final phase. Now at this point, just as a little side note so nobody gets confused, I did actually have to grab footage from another run that we completed, just because a few of my original runs that we completed I forgot to record, so that's my fault, my mistake. But on the previous one and most of the gameplay in the past, we were not able to complete that run just because my teammates split up. Now this is one of my original runs where we were running with 3 well locks as in the beginning of the video, and you can see how quickly you can melt the boss when you chain those well of radiances, and then also using the Starfire protocol. It's very effective, very fast, and this was a LFG group, and these people were amazing. I definitely run with them again. And like I said, when you do these Grandmaster Nightfalls, you definitely want to stay together. Now one thing I forgot to mention, on that back area where we were hovering at, there's a shield in the back. You can actually stand on that shield, and when Caittl's champion is above the oven, you will be able to shoot that shield generator when you stand on top of that little shield. The little Cabal shield is what I call it. If you stay back there and you shoot, you'll be able to do it. And when Caittl's champion is standing on that oven, the fire orbs will not be able to reach you. They will not be able to get to you. And it pretty much just makes the strike a lot easier. So it starts off a little rough, but then it progressively gets easier as you go. If you'd like any more tips or tricks, I know this one's a little 15-minute video. I really didn't want it to be that long, but it's a lot quicker than the 30-minute runs that we were having. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I will post a dim link of the build that I use down below in the description. And also too, if you guys have any tips or tricks on how you guys are actually completing the Grandmaster Proving Grounds, what's the most effective way, please let me know in the comments down below. I believe 3 Warlocks is the best and the most efficient, safest way to go, especially if you're working with a LFG. Like I said, I know a lot of people definitely want to do the activities, but you know, some people just don't want to use the mic, and that's understandable. There's nothing wrong with that. So if you are one of those people and you feel like, oh, I'll never be able to complete a Grandmaster just because we can't get a team together, that's not true. If you want me to run with you, I would definitely run with you. Just send me a comment down below and we will make it happen when I have some time off. And yeah, I want everybody to get Adept loot. I want everybody to experience the full extent of the game. Now, one requirement for this Grandmaster that I forgot to mention, you at least have to be 18-15 power, but that's doable. It's a lot lower than it used to be, and that is your only effective power level anyway. So Bungie is really making it work for more casual players. Now, like I stated before, if you guys have any comments, tips or tricks or anything else that you'd like to add, please leave a comment down below. If you like this video, please consider liking this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's greatly appreciated and is a free way to support me. And like I said, I greatly appreciate it. I will have the Hung Jury Adept review out just because it does have some new perks, so we definitely want to go over that. I also have a sniper review coming out with Bite of the Fox. I know Iron Banner's gone, but it will come back one more time this season, and I have a spicy roll that I actually use in this Grandmaster, so please stay tuned for all that. And I have not forgot about the part 2 of the bow video. I am trying to work on that as well. That video alone will take me a little bit longer just because I've been trying to grind out and unlock Hierarchy of Needs. I've been playing the Spire of the Watcher every week on each character to try to unlock it. I have completed some of the triumphs to actually increase the rate, but I don't want to talk about that too much because I've already got this video longer than I wanted it to be. I hope you all have a wonderful week, wonderful day. I'll have another video out Friday. Thank you all for the new subscribers here lately. I greatly appreciate it. And like I said, if you like this video, leave a like down below and also consider subscribing to my channel. It's a free way to support me and I greatly appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day and I'll see you all in the next video.